Hi there. Let's spend a couple of minutes looking at a popular and commonly used method of pricing based on costs. Cost, of course, is a massively important influence on business decisions, particularly when it comes to setting the price of a product or service. And in order to be profitable over time, the price charged by a business needs to be more than its costs in order for a profit to be made. So costs have always been a big influence on pricing, and in particular there's one method which is very widely used, for example in industries such as retail, and it's known as markup pricing. So let's have a quick look at an example of markup pricing in action, just to illustrate how cost can be used to set price. Imagine we've got a business that produces 10,000 units at a total cost of £100,000. Well, if we work out the total cost divided by the number of units, that's a cost per unit of £10. There, of course, we're spreading the fixed costs as well as the variable costs over that cost per unit cost. Well, how might we set the price for that product? If it's got a cost of £10, we may add a markup. We would use cost as the basis for setting the price. For example, we may decide to add up a markup of 200% on top of the price of 10, a markup of £20, add the markup to the cost, gives you the selling price. Selling price is cost plus markup of £30. And we would know that if we sold that product for 30, it would be £20 more than what it costs to make. So there's an example of markup pricing. Well, it's widely used. What are the advantages, disadvantages of this method? Of course, if you know what your costs are, then it's really easy to apply a policy of markup. Let's just say we always apply 250% on top of the cost of the product, maybe what we've bought it for. That's a really easy way to set the price. And of course that also gives us a reason to increase the price if our costs increase. For example, as a result of a supplier price change or maybe a change in exchange rates. And also it gives managers in the business, particularly marketing managers, some confidence that their selling prices should be profitable, assuming we can find somebody who's prepared to pay that price for the product or service. Well, you can immediately see therefore that there are some potential drawbacks with cost-based pricing. Firstly, of course, it probably ignores the most important factor on pricing, which is how responsive, how sensitive it is to price. Just simply applying a markup to a cost doesn't tell you whether or not that price will be acceptable to the customers and how it will compare with the competition. It ignores the competition. And of course, if we use cost to set a price that's below what customers are prepared to pay, we may be losing out on some revenues that we could otherwise have earned. And I think there's also an argument that simply basing price on cost means that there's relatively little incentive for a business to be efficient, to control costs, if you know that the price is always going to be 3 times the cost. Where's the big incentive to try to reduce those unit costs and be more efficient? So, plenty of drawbacks to cost plus pricing, a few advantages, but it is widely used in business. Hopefully you found that short introduction useful.